as an illustrator by sharing with you some of my experiences, influences, and examples of work. And I do more than just make kind of memes, just so you know from the start. Basically, I've been doing illustration about 5 years now since graduating, and this isn't what my work looks like at the moment, but I wanted to show you because it reflects a lot of the things that are still relevant in my work today. I like drawing people, I like drawing animals, and my Japanese and English background. I'm also quite chuffed I've got a little house in the corner over there as well, so I'm afraid that's the best standard of architecture you will see for this presentation, because I've got it in there. This is a painting by Joseph Wright of Derby, and I grew up in the city of Derby, and basically my entire art curriculum was based around this guy. If an artist is named after your city, you bloody well learn about him at school. So this is one of my first examples of what art was and how I wanted to draw. At home, I grew up with a lot of images like these. And to me, I think that's where I started to make the connection between Japanese art and the way I could connect back to my Japanese background. So that's why it's really important to me to try and include as many Japanese influences as possible in my work today. One of the great things I love about Japanese art and Japanese print is the really beautiful line work, which I try and recreate by using a mechanical pencil, because it lets me build up the thickness of the line really neatly and really easily. I then scan the images into Photoshop and render them in there as well, with other scan textures like watercolour and some tea bags, which scraped off some paper. These are a set of images I did for some promotional postcards for the 2010 World Cup. I don't actually have any interest in football whatsoever, I really was just jumping on the bandwagon for this one. But I tried to choose footballers that were looking to have good tournaments, and unfortunately they all ended up doing really, really badly. Consequently, my friends thought I had a bit of an illustration curse going on and did get a lot of requests to draw footballers for teams they didn't support, but it was good to get the commissions. Luckily, also from the set of postcards, I did get my first editorial commission for a magazine called The Radio Times, which is a TV listings magazine in the UK. The image on the left is the first one I did for them for a radio comedy play called Badfellas, which was set in Vegas, and the brief was pretty much just to make the two main characters look a bit shifty. I also got to draw Stephen Fry, which is fantastic because I think it's brilliant, and also a UK actor called Russell Tovey on the right. He actually came across this illustration of him on Twitter and got a reply from him suggesting that if I did ever draw him again, if I could perhaps give him some Botox. So I don't quite know what to make of that, whether to compliment or not. Anyway, these are a personal series that I started called Small Dog Art. It's a bit of a fun pitch side project I do between commissions, and they've actually been some of my most well-received work, and I do see them pop up every now and again online. Recently I did see the little pug on the right under the title WTF, so again I don't know if that was well received or not, but at least I'm getting some exposure there. I've also managed to get some commissions from this, and the image on the right is of a friend's dog, Ellie. It's a lovely spaniel, but I think in the future I will prefer to choose shorter haired dogs. That took absolutely ages to draw. Yes, and that series also inspired another series called Small Oz Art, inspired by your beautiful country that I'm staying in. I have taken a rather lazy touristy route of adding some dots in the background to make it look Australian, so you'll have to forgive me, but I can assure you that it all done very lovingly as a souvenir of my stay here. These are some images that I did from my university course based on the Mexican wrestling masks of Lucha Libre. I made the mistake of using the image on the left for my first business cards, thinking they're kind of cool and quirky and would stand out, but I just ended up spending a lot of time explaining to people what services I was actually offering. Not the best way to introduce yourself, but lesson learned. A couple of years ago, I was lucky enough to go to Mexico and actually see one of these matches for myself in Mexico City, the evidence of which you can see on the right. I'm the blurry one. And if just for the experience of seeing a tiny wrestler dressed as a monkey, bees with a battering ram, it's kind of one of those experiences you don't really get to see enough of in life, I think. This is a poster I did for The King's Speech. It's an absolutely awesome film. There's a lot of debates online about the quality of the official film poster, so I just wanted to see what I could come up with. The body is meant to form the start of a quotation mark, and the content of the body is the actual script of the speech itself. This is an image I'm actually working on at the moment. It's in progress for a project I started with some friends in the UK called Playlist Patterns. We basically all love music, and the idea is to choose a song and we produce a pattern in response. This is my choice of Patti Smith because the Nightless, I think she's brilliant. It's one of my favourite songs as well. It also uses some of Robert McElroy's imagery. This also reflects my other great love, music, and is a personal project titled Big in Japan. This basically lets me combine my love for music, classic rock, and Japanese imagery in one. And if there are any Who fans out there, the kimonos are based on Boris the Spider, Call Me Lightning, and Pictures of Lily. I wanted to finish off by showing you some of my work setup at the moment. Because I'm in transit, it's basically a laptop and a floor and some paper. But this is a project I'm working on at the moment, and I have some sort of thumbnail sketches where I do layout, and then I do slightly more thought-through layout sketches and compositional drafts. I then start drawing the individual components in more detail, like this. And some of you might have recognised this as a project inspired by Blackadder Goes Forth. It's been one of my favourite projects so far, just because I got to watch the entire series as research, which is fantastic. And also it reminded me that I'm fortunate enough to be able to do what I do and share what I love in a meaningful way. So please do have a look at my website, where hopefully the finished works will be on fairly soon. All my contact details are on there. It'll be great to hear from you. I've had a great time talking to you about my work. I hope you enjoyed it.